Hello and welcome to the KBL podcast. So today I'm going to show you around a few areas outside of town, nice spots where you can go for a long walk. I'm not going to say where it is, but in Lincolnshire somewhere. Anyway, today I want to talk about the Bitchute situation. So if you're aware, basically you can't view the videos. You can still post content on there, but if you're in the UK, so I'm just talking about the UK only, so you can still post videos on there, but it's not exactly true. If you do get a VPN, you can then actually view the videos and just watch it as normal. So there's a few VPNs out there. So you got Proton VPN. So Proton is very good for the email service, so they do a free email. If you need a bigger account, you can pay for it. The only issue with the VPNs, if you're using some apps, they might get funny and they might not allow you to use them, so you might have to delete it every now and again. I'll put it on a device where you ain't gonna have to delete it. Tablets are normally quite good for watching videos anyway. When you watch it on your phone, you can't watch it that great because the screen's a lot smaller, so you can't see all the details. So sometimes it's better to watch it on a tablet, a PC as well. I don't know how you do it on a streaming service. I don't know if they've got any apps, VPN apps on the streaming services. Like you can get Roku TV, which is good because you can get Odysee on there, because I've got one of them. Rumble, but I think Rumble you can get on the Amazon stick as well, and maybe possibly Now TV, I can't remember, but they're not the best ones. Bitchute has obviously got the best selection of content where you won't get elsewhere. They're brand new YouTube, but don't know what's happening with that. It don't work very well now, and it's very slow. And I couldn't watch anything on it last time. It's really bad. So yeah, don't give up. I mean, it does look very bleak in the UK because it's one thing after another. You got country turning to crap. You got our second biggest city full of rubbish in Birmingham. Look at that, loads of sheep. That's what it should be like everywhere. It should be like cattle in all the fields. I hate seeing solar panels. They're crap, they're unreliable, and it's all a bullshit anyway. It's a renewable energy, climate change, net zero. It's just basically to take away our freedoms by basically forcing us to have electric cars, which can be controlled, they can be turned off, they can be monitored, so because they're connected to the internet. And then it'd be like that scene in Total Recall when the car is basically gets controlled by the police authorities after I can't remember the name of the character, but basically Tom Cruise is on the run, and then the police take over the control of the car, and then they make it come back to the station. So these Tesla cars and all other electronic cars, because they're connected to the internet, they're always gonna know where you are. They're gonna be able to track where you're going, and they'll be able to override your system. And as these cars get more and more, I don't know, you could say advanced is one word, but as time goes by, there will be more control mechanisms on the vehicles to stop them getting away or going to certain zones. And that's what the end game is basically to keep you in your area, to stop you going out to other areas. Just look at the range. I mean, if you get a petrol car, you can go a lot further. If you get an electric car, you're so restricted. And then you got the seasons as well to think about. So when it's winter, the electric cars are not very good. They have trouble starting up in the winter. because obviously electrics and cold, whatever, don't fit together very well. So you've got that issue. Plus the batteries don't last too long, because basically as soon as you start using it, the battery is degrading already, and then you can't recycle the batteries. And these electric cars, they weigh so much, and I believe that's why we've got so many potholes, is because of the damage these cars do to the road, because of the weight of them are so heavy. So they're not environmentally friendly as they make out. And then when they catch the light, you can't put the fire out, it just keeps burning, and then they explode. It's so dangerous. Right. And then you see like these buses, electric buses catching fire. If you're on the bus and you can't get off, you basically be very lucky if you survived once one of these catches on fire. They're dangerous. I'm not against it completely. I mean, it's another idea. If it was basically done for the right reasons and just give you an option, instead of having a combustion engine, you can have an electronic motor. Yeah, fair enough. But there's an agenda to all of it. Like most things, everybody thinks they've got a choice, but then when you find out all the food companies are basically owned by a few companies, then you'll see it's basically monopolies under different names. So Mars, Nestle, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, they're all owned like it's different share amounts, but basically BlackRock owns most of these companies. Vanguard owns BlackRock. You can't find out who owns Vanguard, who runs it, but basically they believe it's the royal family, and like, you know, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, that's those sort of people. So I'm just saying that's what people say. That's where the fingers point, should I say. Yeah, just go back to what I was saying about Bitchute. Yeah, please keep using it, and the more of us upload videos and just show like how bad things are in the UK and elsewhere, everywhere in Australia, in America, Canada, New Zealand, France, Germany, or anywhere in Europe really, the Western world. Yeah, just show people, because there's loads of people who are still fast asleep and they're not getting it. And it's like in the UK, I mean, how bad do things have to get before people start waking up? I mean, the biggest factor at the moment, I think, is the cost of living. It's just ridiculous. You go to a supermarket, and like myself, I went into Iceland the other day to get some ice cream lollies, and there was $1.75 like a few days ago, and then they've gone up to £2. It's just ridiculous. 25p. I mean, it might sound like not a lot of money, but you add that up, and then you add up, like, just imagine you bought 20 items here, and each item costs 25% more, 50% more, and it's like your bill's already gone up 50%. It's just too much, and people can't afford it. And think about also, if you've got a family, you've got 4 or 5 of you to feed, and your shopping keeps going up month and month, then your utility bills go up month and month. It's just ridiculous. And then add on to that transport, buses, trains, underground, trams, they always go up every so often. I mean, you could get a bus prices going up in less than a year, like every 6 months. It's just getting ridiculous. I've seen like the problems in Canada is their shopping is even worse, I think, than the UK. And then they've got carbon taxes. It's just getting out of hand, and a lot of people are going to be homeless. They need to take measures. They need to stop supporting the system in any which way they can. I often say to people here in the UK, stop paying for your TV licence, because all you're doing is funding the government arm of propaganda. They can't put all that propaganda out there if people stop funding it. same with the voting system. If people keep voting, then that system will continue. And we're getting it time and time again. They all promise. They all say, when I get in, I'm going to build more houses. I'm going to make more spaces. I'm going to make more appointments available in the NHS. I'm going to make more GP appointments. I'm going to get more doctors. I'm going to get more nurses. I'm going to get more teachers. We're going to build more houses. And nearly every time, it's just complete, utter bullshit. When they get in, they do none of it. Or they might do a couple of good things, but that's it. It's like Trump, isn't it? Everybody thinks he's wonderful. Well, not everyone, because I mean, the people on the left hate him, but the MAGA, Make America Great Again people, they think he's a hero. They think he's really freeing America, but is he? I know I said this on the last video, but the tariffs, they're not there to help anyone. They're just taxes. It's not just other countries going to pay, it's the Americans are going to pay as well. You're going to pay more for your cars, and those factories are not going to magically come back to the US overnight. I mean, it took years and years. They've shut down most of the car plants in Detroit, so how are these car plants just going to pack up and go and leave Mexico or wherever they are now, move back to the States, where they're going to have higher wages? Look at California, they've got a higher minimum wage, which is probably still not enough to live in California, especially Los Angeles and San Francisco. Very expensive, aren't they, from what I've seen. I've only been to the East Coast, so I've never been to California, but it's just the reports I get and what I read from other people's experience. But it's not good for anyone, and he was supposed to finish the Ukraine and Russia war on day one. What's he done? Nothing. And he keeps going back to Israel, you know. He stopped foreign aid, but then they're still sending it to Israel. You know, they're a minority in a minority. You know, they didn't build America like the Irish and the Italians and everybody else. But even people in Israel are indoctrinated to believe that their leaders, their government are looking after them, and they don't give a shit about any of them. They're just using them. That's another matter anyway. See, just the simple things are wonderful. I get fed up sometimes. It's like you stay in, especially in the UK, because it's only the summer it's decent, because the rest of the year is too cold to do. I mean, it's not too cold like Russia or Canada. You can still do things, but I mean, there's no like outside activities like there is in Australia, where you can have a barbecue and do surfing all year round. But in the UK it's only summer really, unless you're crazy and you can stand the cold and you can stand the freezing cold water. But yeah, but here it's nice. It's totally different in the summer, because you can go out, stay out all day, wear a pair of shorts when it's too cold to wear them, like you do when you're on holiday somewhere hot. And yeah, it's nice to get out to nature, because it's just what the world used to look like before they built all the cities. And I think that's the problem. They've brought more people together, but in another way, you could say it's probably the fault of the internet, when people are disconnected. Because it makes complete sense, doesn't it now? If you look at the internet, even saying you're connected, you're online now, so you're in that digital realm. But before the internet, you was outside the digital realm. You was in the real world, weren't you? You was in the real world with older technology, where you had to wait, or you had to knock on someone's door to speak to them. But now you've got the connection online, and you could just basically talk to anyone, anywhere in the world, like someone in Japan, and you can instantly talk to them. But before, you'd have to make an expensive phone call, and before that you would have to travel on an aeroplane for hours at end, or get a ship and stay on a ship for like a month or 6 weeks to get to these places. But yeah, I think that's one way, one reason why we're disconnected now. Because instead of concentrating on people, like real people, face to face, all we do is talk to complete strangers online. So we ignore our neighbours, and they ignore you, because it takes both sides to do that, doesn't it? It's not just one side. And that's the sad reality, isn't it? It's like even the male and female connection. It's like there's men who are scared to talk to women, and I know it could be intimidating if you're like shy, and you feel like she could be out of your league, or she feels like you're out of her league. But even putting that to the side, I mean, we should talk together. We shouldn't be like sat next to each other and send a message, which I don't do. That really bugs me if you're in the same room and someone messages you. I mean, the only time where I think it's acceptable is if you're like sending something rude and you don't want to share it with the group, so you have a laugh amongst yourselves. But otherwise, yeah, you need to talk together. And that's the thing, we're losing this connection. We're doing everything online, and I mean, I'm guilty of using the services online, but it's hard because that's like most things are based online now. So banking, crypto, if you go in a bank, you've got to wait around, and then if you don't want to go to the bank and waste loads of time, do it online because it's quicker. But at the same time, we need to try and wean ourselves off these systems, because it's just disconnecting us. We need to get back to somewhere where we used to be, you know, talk face to face. Well, if you go out with friends and you go out for a few drinks, it's nice when you don't use your phone and you just talk together and the phone stays in your pocket. I mean, you can't beat that, because you're more happy when you're not using it. But yeah, everybody is so reliable and addicted to these devices, and it is hard to operate without them. It's like when people say go off grid, it's like it's really hard to do that as well, because you have to cut off a lot of conveniences. Like I could live out quite a few things. I don't need an Alexa, and I wouldn't want to get one. I never owned an Apple device. A few other things, some businesses I don't use, that don't bother me. I don't go to Tesco's anymore. Don't hurt me, don't cause me any issues. So certain things I can live without. When they done the lockdowns and they done the restrictions on flights and basically all the requirements you had to have the jab to go on certain flights or to enter certain countries, I just waited. I just thought, I'm not giving in to them. You know, eventually your business will lose loads of money and you have to take it back, which happened in the end, because all these businesses, they kept blocking people from entering their country, and they kept making all these requirements. So it's so difficult to visit these premises, these countries, and in the end they lost money because of that, and it destroyed a lot of businesses. All these restrictions and measures, which is all out of hand because it wasn't even dangerous. I didn't even believe in COVID anyway, because what evidence have we got? We got supposedly it's the first case in China. They still haven't said who this man is or woman, whatever they are. and then they show footage of a drunk man falling over. It's like, it was such propaganda, and I was an idiot at first, I fell for it. But I've gone quite the opposite since then. I've really woken up. And I guess my first wake up was basically, not at the time, but afterwards I was thinking, with the Twin Towers, I just thought, those towers, they look like they went down like they had plastic, what do you call it, demolition explosives in all the towers. And then you find out there's only one video of the aeroplane going into the tower, into each tower. And it's like, if that was the case, why wouldn't there be more footage? Is that a hologram, or is it a CGI edited onto a video, I guess? I just can't trust these people, and they needed that to legitimise the war against the Middle East, which is a part of the Greater Israel plan, I would say, and the Kalergi plan, because they had to destabilise the Middle East to destabilise European countries and to help with the mass illegal immigration. So yeah, by doing that act, they set the mandate for the war with Iraq and the war with Afghanistan, and they're still pushing for a war with Iran. I think they fired some missiles into Yemen the other day, which I thought Trump was supposed to be the president that didn't get involved in wars and attacks. And that's another thing he's gone back on. But there you go. So we're under the road, under a bridge, shall I say, which has a road built on top of it. So what can I say? Yeah, in this country I just feel like the writing's on the wall. I keep thinking about immigrating to another country. I thought about South America, I thought about Southeast Asia, I thought about Europe, but a European country, but I think that's only good temporary. I don't think it's good at long term. Until we find out what is going to happen. We've got the possibility of war just going up. Got a possibility of war, Russia, Ukraine maybe, China, Taiwan, but it's hard to know. There's also a possibility of a cyber attack. There's the 5G, which I don't know. I don't know if it's 5G. Is it what they say it is? It's supposed to be deadly, but then also is the frequency still low, so it can't really do any damage. And then we've got the people who have the medical intervention. I mean, will they get sick and turn to zombies, or will they basically cease to exist? I don't know. But the thing with European countries, especially countries in the EU, they're passing all these legislation, changing everything like this. They've got a limit on cash. I think you can only have so much cash on you. They want to release the CBDC in October of this year, so they're going to have a digital euro. There's a lot of issues, and yeah, I just don't think it's the best place for freedom. And then you think about other places like South America, there's still a lot of crime. Yeah, it's not everywhere. It's a bit like South Africa, I suppose, isn't it? Where you go to Cape Town, you go in a nice area, and then you can have like a really dangerous area. So, but yeah, you got to sort of think what's good for you. So if you're thinking about it, think about your family, think about, does it fit into your plans? Because it might be the weather, it might be like, say if you're thinking about Russia, I'm not saying that's a good place to go, it's got its pluses, but for me the weather would be a no-no. I don't know if I could handle that harsh winter, and that'd be worse than living in England or anywhere on this island, you know, because it gets cold here, but you imagine when you're indoors and outside's -20 and you need to go to the shop, and it's like that for 3 months or more, and it's like, do you want that? Do you want a short summer? I mean, they look like they have decent summers there. It's like Poland, isn't it? There's really hot summers where it gets up to 35 or 40, but then you have such a long winter. So you've got to think of things like that. Some countries have conscription, so if you become a citizen, they respect you, or they might even come round to your house or apartment and say you have to come with them after you've been there so long. Also, a big one is financial. So there's ways around things. Like, you could buy a farm, you could buy like there's cheap houses in Bulgaria, and it's in the EU. Just for example, you could buy a house for a couple of grand. You could get some chickens. You could grow food, and you can live off your land. I mean, you still need to buy stuff now and again, like clothes. You could probably build a well, and I think you can in Hungary and a lot of other countries. I'm not an expert on wells, but yeah, a lot of places you could do that. Also, you need to take into account like the visa, how long can you stay there, what you need to qualify. Like I just say, for example, Cambodia, you could get a business visa and you can stay up to a year, and then you can renew it, and that allows you to get a work permit. So in places like Cambodia and Thailand, you can teach English. So in Thailand, you're supposed to have a degree, but there's still people who teach it. Cambodia, you just need the business visa and then work permit. And also, I'm forgetting to say, you need the TEFL certificate as well, so you need to do training to get that. But it's just one way you could do it. You can set up a business. Obviously different countries are going to be different rates. Sometimes you have to employ a local. I think like in the case of Serbia, you can get residency if you open a business, and I think the business can be open with the capital of just €1. The only kicker is, well, it's not a big kicker because the houses are cheap there if you go outside of Belgrade, but even Belgrade I think is affordable to a lot of people compared to British cities. You can get residency by setting up a business there. I think in Albania it's not too difficult. There's ways you can stay there longer, and I'm not saying these are the best countries and they fit for you, but just something to think about. Do your own research and see what you would like to do. I mean, just think about all the pros and cons, because I'm thinking, yeah, I want to get out and I want to go to a couple of countries. I'll probably say more about it later once I've made my plans. I'm still thinking about it. Or you can stay here and ride it out or fight back, I don't know. I just feel like the writing's on the wall. Unless things change drastically, I mean, people are waiting for reform, but if there's not an election till 2029, and I don't think voting helps anyway, so even if they did get in, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to get in the cities, yeah, because places like Birmingham, they're probably going to go for an Islamic party, or maybe Labour is the new Islamic party. and other areas the woke people are gonna vote for Greens, and there's only gonna be like, I don't know, the Devons, the Essex, the Kent, Lincolnshire, I don't know, they might be the ones who vote for reform. And I don't know about UKIP, I don't think they've got a chance of winning anything. But even if reform get in, it's like you look at Italy, for example. Meloni got in. I think her party, is it the Brothers of Italy? She got in, and basically she is supposed to stop this mass immigration, but they're still coming into Italy in vast numbers. Yeah, they set up a centre to register asylum seekers and process them in Albania, but I don't know if that's going to be effective, or is that just another way of like shutting people up, making people think they're dealing with it when they're probably not. I don't know. But these leaders in governments and parliaments, they're all corrupt. The majority are. You look at the EU, it's like members in the EU have been banned from actually taking part in any elections. So yeah, what chance have you got in that system? But the thing is, I don't have all the answers like most people, but the more independence you have, I think the better. If you can be less reliant on their services and on where you buy your food, basically you stop using so many big businesses, and then their power gets weaker and they have less influence on you. So that's the thing, if you're like on a platform, say like we would have said in the past Bitchute, you wouldn't get cancelled, but now that's changed. Not that you'd get cancelled now, but in a way, if you post in the UK, obviously even if we keep shouting VPN, not everyone is gonna get one and watch the videos on there. So hopefully like a lot of people do, because that's the thing, you just got to get active. When they bring out new measures, you've got to find ways around it. It's like with the Canadian truckers, they froze their bank accounts, but if anything happened like that again, they could use cryptocurrency and use a privacy coin to wallets which are not on a centralised platform, and then it wouldn't be able to touch that at all. And this is what we've got to do. We've got to be more disconnected from their bullshit and blackmail, just be out of their reach. So that's the thing, the more we do things like that, the less power they have over us. So we need to do that more and more. Like when I set up email accounts, like I have a Gmail account, obviously I use that for YouTube. I don't hardly use it, but I use Proton Mail because that's based in Switzerland, so that's protected with Swiss law, so they can't share it with the EU. So I would be very wary about having an email account based in America, based in the UK, based in the EU, Australia, etc. So if you have it in jurisdictions where there's special laws, they're out of the reach of these other big global, what do you call it, blocks, then they can't get to you. And that's why a lot of people like Telegram. I know it's a bit unsure. What's the word? Better word. So not unsure, but we're not sure which direction Telegram's headed in, because Paul Durov, he got pulled when he landed in Paris, which I thought was a bit suspect, because I thought, why would you fly into France when you're a millionaire, even a billionaire, let's say, because I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire. you've got multiple choices. Yeah, you've got a private jet. Why do you fly into France when you know you could be arrested? And it looks a bit suspect to me. So yeah, I still use it, but at the end of the day, what other choice? I mean, there's other platforms you can use, but for now I think it's okay. Unless we see like things change, then we'll have to review our options. But I still think it's a lot safer than Facebook. And just a word of advice, I don't know if people do this already. I guess some people do it, obviously, but I think with these riots, when the trouble started over the Southport killings, the 3 girls, I think the police found out where these people are posting the memes, because they put too much information on their Facebook. So they put their location, they put where they work, they put their date of birth, they put their full name on there. So like I'd say from now on, it's not me, this is me trying to look out for other people and look out for you, but I'm just saying I think it'd be wise not to have your date of birth on there, not to have your location where you are, not to have where you work. Take all that stuff off. I'd take off where you went to school. Just have very little information. I'd just use your first name, I would. It's up to you. I mean, you could use your first name or use something totally different, but I'm just saying, just be careful, because the police could use all that information against you. And then this is another thing, we've got to stop putting all our information out there. Like if you set up an email, don't put your full name in the email, because they're going to know who it's from. And then I don't know what they can find from your IP address. I mean, I think it's possible they could track you, but then I think it's harder. Yeah, it would be impossible if you use a VPN, and then if you don't use your full name, then it's going to make it harder again. So we just need to be more streetwise, really. So that's the thing. If we don't use their banking system as much, and if we want to transfer money to our brothers and sisters in trouble, like Canadian truckers, if we do it via crypto, and we do it outside of platforms like Coinbase and other platforms what are centralised and probably owned by the same people who own the banks, to be honest, probably owned by BlackRock, because that's the thing, they take over, like they take over the money supply, and they control the central banks, and then they take over the gold and silver, and then they take over the cryptocurrency. Like they set up these companies, their owners share in that company. So it could be like I don't know, I can't say for sure, but MicroStrategy has been buying up a lot of Bitcoin. It wouldn't surprise me if they're connected in some way to one of the major players, and basically it's their way of getting a monopoly on Bitcoin. Like they won't be able to get a complete monopoly on Bitcoin because they can't control who owns what, but they can influence the price. They can make the market crash by having a sell-off. So yeah, that's one thing to be careful of. So yeah, less centralisation, less big banks. If you do use a bank, try and use a bank supplied Israel, which isn't one of these banks that are trying to shutting your branches down every week. So you want to keep away from the big 4, the big 5. I mean, I use Santander, so I don't know if I should carry on using them. Because apparently I found out the other day that support Israel, facilitating money through their accounts, so I might switch to the Nationwide. But yeah, so decentralisation is the way forward. Less information online, less data, so that'll safeguard us more and more. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you if you watched all the way through, and hopefully this video is more entertaining. Yeah, I'm still new to it, so yeah, please come back and check out the next video, which I hopefully do one next weekend. I'm going to try and do it regularly, so I at least do one a week. But yeah, thank you if you watched all the way through. Yeah, just keep fighting the fight and do what you do what you think's best. If loads of things we can do, like I said. I think voting's a waste of time. Stack up on tin food. I don't know how long we should stack up on. If you can get a second citizenship, look into that. Ancestry, like, what relations do you have? Is it grandparents from abroad? Just gives you more options. You'll be able to fly to more countries. You'll be able to stay longer in certain countries. Try and travel to a few places so you get educated and get the feel for these places you might want to move to. If you do stay in England or anywhere in the British Isles, Isle of Man. Well, Isle of Man's not too bad, so that could be an option. If you get fed up with England, try the Isle of Man. It's got its drawbacks, obviously, like it's small, but it's big enough. It's not overcrowded, but it's just more awkward to get anywhere because you have to fly back to the UK and then fly out again. Think about different places in England, get out the cities. There's loads of nice places. You can think about the Highlands of Scotland or the valleys in Wales or the southwest, like a quiet corner in Cornwall, so you can get away from the cities and the big towns. And some places you go further up north, it gets cheaper, so cheaper rent. You might have to take a pay cut. You might have to be more careful with your money, but there's swings and roundabouts. I mean, you could do well in other ways, like you might get less money, but you could be happier. You could have a nicer flat, a nicer home. You might have actually a good chance of buying somewhere to live, because if you live in London or even Bristol, these places are really expensive, and then Cornwall's very expensive. And I don't want to say about Cornwall, because I think there's a lot of people moving and keep buying up properties, so I feel sorry for them in a way. And they lost a lot of industry there. Same as a lot of other places in the north and in the valleys. Lost the coal miners. But yeah, don't think you have to stay in the same place forever. There's other places you can move to. Lincolnshire's beautiful. It's quite affordable as well. The Isle of Man looks very affordable for buying a house. Check out Neil McCoy Ward. He does a lot of videos in the Isle of Man because he lives there, and he basically does his walk and talks, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, it's not too overcrowded. I think it's only like 85,000 people on the island, so it's quite nice. It's got its drawbacks, obviously. If you import stuff, it's more expensive, and there'll be drawbacks to living like outside the city. Like, the pro would be there'd be less crime, and it'd be quieter, cheaper houses, but less options on jobs. But if you drive, you could still basically, you could commute to the city, or you could commute to another town and get a job that way. So yeah, keep your options open. Take care everyone. I'm going to leave it there and go now. So yeah, check this out. It's a lovely river. It's not clear. No shopping trolley in sight. I never forget living in Bristol for quite a few years. You get the water so dirty and all the chemicals in it, and you can't even see it through it. You can't even see to the bottom because it's just this horrible green, a bit like the Thames. But yeah, this is lovely. But how long will it stay filled until they basically concrete all over England? Anyway, bye for now. Thank you and take care. Bye bye. Oh yeah, I forgot to say about basically the health service, basically. I don't know, I don't think I mentioned it in the last video, but it's basically diabolical. I have an appointment, basically, well, it's supposed to be an appointment, so I had to ring this number, put a code in, and then when I got through, it basically said there's no appointments at the moment and they're still working back from May last year. So this was an outpatient's appointment, and it said on the letter to ring in July if they don't contact you, and that's July last year. And I think I rang them a time before, and they're saying like this would be about a year away. And then the last time, like I just said, they said they're working from May last year. And also GP surgeries, it's so hard to get an appointment, and then when you do get an appointment you could be waiting 2 to 3 weeks, and by the time you had your appointment you're probably better anyway. And then when you get to see them, if you don't get better, and so you want them to diagnose or find out what the issue is, they always have trouble finding what the issue is, and all they want to do is prescribe you medication, which is in itself is probably going to have side effects. Or is it the actual effects of the medicine, not the side effect? But yeah, that's another reason I dislike living here now. It's just basically healthcare has turned to crap. Trying to get an appointment, trying to find an NHS dentist is near impossible. And it's like, why are we here paying for this and paying taxes for this when the service is just getting worse? So that's another reason I want to emigrate to somewhere else. Just don't see the point. You know, everything's getting worse. The bin collections are getting less and less. They're on about doing one domestic waste bin collection every 4 weeks. I mean, can you imagine how bad that would smell and how much build-up of rubbish you're going to have? You're going to have rubbish piling outside of the bin. You won't be able to shut the lid. It's just ridiculous. And then they want you to mess around doing the recycling, which is a load of bollocks as well, because all they do is ship it off to other countries. They don't recycle black plastic. In Bristol Council, I remember I put loads of cardboard outside because they claimed they collect cardboard, and then I contact them to say the cardboard's not been collected, and then they go, oh, we don't collect it in every area. It's like, why do you state that you collect cardboard and leave it outside? Why don't you actually specify what areas you do collect it? It's just nonsense, and it's just crap. And the councils keep doing what they want. We're going to get a mayor, a Greater Lincolnshire mayor. Nobody wants it. Nobody's even been asked. Like, there's no referendum. At least in Bristol, they had a referendum to ask people if they wanted one. But here, no, they're just going to carry on and do it. They're going to split the council into 2 or 3 areas. Then again, they're not really asking people. They're just going to put their proposals out, and then once they've decided, that's it. So that's the council in action. They continue shutting car parks, they continue shutting libraries and toilets and various other services, leisure centres all around the country, and they still expect people to pay for it via council tax and business rates. One business in Nottingham was paying £350 a month, and now the council there, Nottinghamshire Council, are asking for, I think it was like £850 a month. They said it went up £500. It's just ridiculous. And that council's bankrupt, and they're pushing the green agenda. They got electric buses, just like Belfast and is it Cardiff and Bristol got them now as well, and London. Oh, they're dangerous, and these councils are just corrupt. They don't answer to anyone, and if you get an elected mayor, it'll be the same shit as everywhere else, where they just carry on doing what they want to do, bring in policies what nobody wanted, nobody asked for, and then claim that the majority of people wanted it. Well, there you go, I'll leave that there.